So in this segment we are going to be looking at another aspect of memory, which is the cache memory. So in the first series of lectures on this unit, I mentioned that there is a memory hierarchy in the computer, meaning your computer memory is divided into different levels. The first level is your registers, which are present inside the CPU, which is what we've been learning about all along. The second level is cache memory, which we will be learning about today. Then we have our primary memory or main memory or RAM, and then you have your secondary memory devices like your CD, pen drive, hard drive, and so on. So this is the memory hierarchy from the lowest to the highest level, the lowest level being registers and the highest being your secondary memory. There is also a type called virtual memory, but we will not be going into all that for the purposes of this lecture. So when I say lower to higher, I'm talking in terms of size. So the registers are the smallest. Cache is bigger than registers but not as big as main memory. Then comes your main memory, which is fairly a big amount, a lot of space, and secondary memory is capable of storing maximum. And as the size increases, the access time increases or the speed decreases, as in the amount of time you need to access data from a register is much less compared to the time needed to access data from your main memory, and so on. So as your size increases, the access time increases, so the access speed decreases. Secondly, the cost also increases for smaller ones. So your registers and cache memory are very expensive compared to your primary memory or secondary memory. So these are the broad points which you need to remember when talking about the memory hierarchy. From lowest to highest in terms of size, it is registers, cache memory, RAM or main memory, secondary memory. Registers are the smallest in size, secondary memory is the largest. The access time is minimum for a register and maximum for secondary memory. Hence the access speed is just the opposite. It is maximum speed for a register, minimum speed for secondary memory. And cost wise, again, your registers are very expensive, your cache memory is very expensive compared to primary memory or secondary memory. We will not be going into secondary memory in this unit. We'll restrict ourselves to registers, which we've already learned quite a lot about, primary memory, which also we fairly know about, and cache memory. Cache memory is going to be the highlight of the next few slides. So in the hierarchy, it lies between the registers and the main memory. The idea is, or the reason you need cache memory is, there are some pieces of information or data which you will keep using frequently. So it would not be a very wise idea to go to the main memory every time you need that piece of data or instruction, fetch it, bring it back, put it in a register and then use it. So if there is one particular instruction, let's say, which I am going to be executing 10 times, and if that instruction is present in my main memory, I have to go to the main memory 10 times, bring it, store it in the register and execute every time, which is not feasible in terms of time and in terms of the effort, the computation taken. So one thing we can do is, you can keep that instruction in the register itself. You can, the first time you fetch it, then you put it inside the register and it stays there until you're done with it. But the problem is, like I said, registers are the smallest in size, so they have a very limited capacity. So if you have multiple such instructions, all of which you will keep needing frequently and repeatedly, you cannot put all of them in the register. There is only as much a register can hold. So the idea is there is a trade-off here between availability and access time, or the amount of space you have in a register and the access time. So registers have limited space but quick access time. Primary memory, as I said, is the opposite. So to bridge that gap or to overcome that trade-off, we have this intermediate level called cache memory. So you put in frequently used data or instructions into this part of memory called the cache, from where you can quickly access it. You don't have to go all the way up to the main memory. So the time taken to access is less compared to main memory, although the access time is more than that of a register, but the difference is not too much. So it helps you to quickly access frequently required data without overloading your registers. So that is the key idea or the motivation behind why you have this type of memory called a cache memory. Where is this cache memory located? We have different levels within cache. We have L1, L2, L3, and each of them has a separate location. We will not go into that detail in this unit. So for the purposes of this unit, we can understand that the cache memory also lies within the CPU or very close to the CPU. So how things work are, when your control unit decodes an instruction and it comes across an address or a piece of data it needs, it will first check the general purpose registers to see if that data is available. If that data is available in the general purpose register, it will take it, send it to the ALU. The ALU will perform whatever operation and so on. If it is not available in the general purpose registers, the control unit will first search the cache memory to see if this piece of data is available there. If it is present in the cache, it will pick it up from the cache, bring it to the register, then to the ALU and so on. If it is not present in the cache also, then it goes to the primary memory. From that the data is accessed. So cache is just an intermediate step between your registers and primary memory, like I said, to bridge that gap or overcome that trade-off of time versus availability.